I power walk down to that pile of gummy bears and back. I should probably set the pile out further, or closer, so I can get at them. Oh, fudge. Does anyone want some? Got nuts in it.
Hey, what's up, ups? How you guys doing today? Doing good, I hope-a-roo. We are back. We took a little break, little schedule mix-up, just because work last thing. And I kind of wanted to decompress by just, if anything, playing some mindless, gaming sort of things. We are back to the Power Up podcast show. For anyone new who doesn't know what the show is about, way for us to keep our minds sharp and up to date of what's happening in pop culture. This can range from your video games, your anime, your manga, movies, TV shows, whatever suits our fancy. I tend to lean a little bit more towards the gaming side of it with some anime sprinkled in there, here and there. But we do this just because we want to keep our minds sharp, up to date. And more importantly, hopefully, at least remind folks that we can enjoy entertainment for entertainment's sake. Hopefully, we can rekindle that nostalgic spirit and realize that we can still enjoy the craft out there. But we need to be aware that there is a bunch of garbage being infested. Now, is the tide turning? I'd like to think so, but we still got a ways to go. As far as I'm concerned, it'd be nice for it to go back in your 90s, early 80s, where it seemed like the sky was the limit. Any stupid crap was kept behind the scenes and didn't actually affect the product, unlike today. But yeah, if you enjoy the show, come hang out with me. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, punch that thumbs up, ring that bell, and turn on notifications to get notified when I go live. Right now, we're on YouTube, Rumble, and X, and we do game streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 p.m. Central Time. That's usually the time we do all of this, while Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays we do gaming. Tuesdays and Thursdays we do this show. It used to be that way. We are switching it back, but that may also change as well. But appreciate you guys taking the time to hang out with me. Got a lot of stuff catching up. I think the big one that's kind of I've been reflecting about is, of course, the big talk with Billy Mitchell and Karl Jobst. And Karl losing his defamation case against Billy Mitchell. But the question everyone is asking is that, were we misled? Because a lot of people feel that the lawsuit or the defamation case was based on the fact of Karl calling Billy a cheater, which I tend to think, I don't really believe in Billy's score either. But I never liked Billy to begin with. But that's not what the defamation case was about. And a lot of people feel misled because out of the tons of videos that Karl put out, it seemed that he was steering it that the reason why this case is happening is because of defamation of calling him a cheater, as opposed to in layman's terms, making a connection to a past YouTuber who had sadly been in Minecraft, and said that Billy could have been the prime source of it. We've got an article here, so it might be brought up, but that's kind of where everyone is kind of upset about, especially since a lot of people with Karl who watch Karl and watch his videos, he talked about speedrunning and cheaters getting caught in speedrunners. So they're in speedrunning. That's what we're talking about. We also got a bunch of Nintendo stuff, news and whatnot. So let's go ahead and let's just hop right into it, shall we? Alrighty. What's up, Komanga? Ring ring. This is something that I saw a quick glance at, and this comes from that Park Place, and that's John Boyega attacks Star Wars fan over perceived racial prejudice, no longer blaming Lucasfilm or Disney. This is absolutely ridiculous, and I'm getting really, really tired of the retardedness of, well, you didn't like the film because you're a racist or XYZ. Except the fact that the Disney now and Lucasfilms now is a big pile of shit. They're the ones that don't care about you. So stop blaming the fans when you as in Disney deliver a crap product. And John here has no one to blame but himself, because at the end of the day he took the paycheck. But before I kind of try to formulate my thoughts and give my opinion about what he's upset about, let's actually find out. So he has revisited experience with the Star Wars franchise in a new Apple TV Plus documentary, offering fresh comments that are once again stirring debate among fans. So in number 1 on the call sheet, black leading men and oh my gosh, see, I'm already not interested in it. If you have to start with black leading men in Hollywood, give me a fucking break. There are plenty that you don't need a damn list. Boyega shared his views on the franchise's perceived lack of representation and takes aim at the fan base instead of the studio. This is the thing. This is where this mindset right here, to me, I mean, he might go out, and because he's part of the franchise, he'll probably say, well, I was a huge fan back then. When you say stupid shit like this, like, part of me kind of thinks that you're a tourist. You're not really a fan. Now, it's okay to not be super hardcore about a series you love. I would say that I enjoy Star Wars very much. I wouldn't say I'm hardcore. You know, I know all the lore and stuff like that, although there are times where I think it'd be fun to kind of expand my Star Wars knowledge, but I don't. But you don't hear me going around saying, scratch that thought. No idea where I was leading at. Star Wars always had the vibe of being in the most whitest elite space. Boya said in the documentary, it's a franchise that's so white that a black person existing in it was something. Mace Windu, Lando Calrissian. These are literally black people that people absolutely love. Shut the hell up. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? John Boyega pushed back on common rebuttals from fans who point to legacy characters like Lando For people out there, just an FYI, now obviously some of this could be clickbait in terms of the titles and stuff. I don't pre-screen this. I don't read this off screen and then read it again to, you know, kind of expect what the article is seeing. What you're seeing right now is my live reaction. Look what I literally just said. You can always tell it's something when Star Wars fans try to say, well, we had Lando Calrissian and had Samuel L. Jackson. Yes, and their characters are two of the most beloved characters of Star Wars. It's like telling me how many cookie chips are on the cookie dough. They just scattered in there, bro. What is that? What's your point? You're literally sounding like you're ass mad that the cookie wasn't brown to begin with. If you got a problem with it, go make your own fucking Star Wars character and just have a bunch of black people. Oh my gosh. I hate this crap. It's so fucking tiresome. So he added that while being cast in Star Wars was a major opportunity, the reaction to his character becoming a lead was revealing. They're okay with us playing the best friend, but once we touch their heroes, once we lead, once we trailblaze, it's like, oh my God, it's a bit too much. They're pandering. Because they are pandering. First of all, again, he's attacking the fans. Why don't you attack Disney? Disney's the one that doesn't care about you. Same like the AAA studios in video games. These woke ass hats are the ones you need to get mad at because they see you as a checkpoint while at the same time that they can utilize, while at the same time bastardizing an established franchise or series and just race swapping everything, gender swapping everything, believing, well, it's already established, the money's there, so people will just love our shit. I'm so tired of this. This is so pathetic. And the fact of the matter is, this mentality has been defeated. I do think woke is dying, but I can also see it coming back stronger. But, dude, this mentality is insanity. This is the point where the hive mind is real. The remarks have reignited an ongoing conversation about Boyega's role in the sequel trilogy and his evolving relationship with the franchise. Many fans originally embraced Finn's stories in The Force Awakens. Yes, and I heard some people said that one, they wanted him to get with Rey, or they actually wanted him to be the Jedi. So again, get mad at Disney. Do not get mad at the fans, because the people who claim they're on your side, they were never fans to begin with. They were terrorists. They were activists. I'll say 80% of them are that. And I say 80% because a broken clock is at least right twice a day. So there's your other 20% if we're spacing it on a scale of 100. Trailers and early marketing positioned him as a central figure, something that resonated with audience. However, in typical J.J. Abrams style bait and switch, Rey was revealed to be the Jedi instead, and in the following films, Finn's arc was notably diminished, and his Force sensitivity was downplayed. By the time The Rise of Skywalker was released, which I can proudly say I have not seen and never plan to do so unless it's being pirated and, I don't know, being displayed on a gigantic screen somewhere just to flip off the studio. Some fans felt the character had been reduced to comic relief, far from the lead role that had been teased. They complain about it. Just a reminder, folks, this douchebag took the check. So he seemed like he was perfectly fine with it at the time, but now it's an issue. Disney also noticeably shrank and diminished Boyega on the promotional poster for the Chinese market, a movie that was seen by many to be the House of Mouth, placating racial prejudice within the Middle Kingdom. Here you go. You got that over there, and you got ships replaced right there. So he publicly criticized Disney's handling of the character. What I would say to Disney is to not bring out a black character, market them to be more important in the franchise than they are, and then have them pushed aside. It's not good. I'll say it straight up. Then why are you attacking the fans? Again, this does not make sense. You clearly know that Disney's the problem, and yet here you are being a little ass muncher and complaining that the fans, oh, it's the fans. Gosh, every time. These people do not want to take responsibility at all for their actions. He continued, you guys know what to do with this Daisy Ridley. You knew what to do with Adam Driver, but when it came to Kelly Marie Tran, when it came to John Boyega, you know nothing. They gave all the nuance to Adam Driver, all the nuance to Daisy Ridley. Let's be honest, Daisy knows this, Adam knows this, everybody knows. I'm not exposing anything. Well, it sounds like I mean, if they all knew that, sounds to me like you guys are all a bunch of assholes. These remarks struck a chord with many longtime fans who had similarly voiced frustration over Finn's diminished role. In the same interview, he revealed that a Disney executive reached out after his comics were published. He described the conversation as very honest and very transparent and said he hoped the exchange would open the door to more meaningful discussions in the industry. It's not. It's not. We're seeing what they're doing with the Star Wars franchise. Don't ever buzzwords. Don't believe them. But here you go. In 2023, following the announcement of a new Star Wars film centered around Rey, his tone suddenly and miraculously began to shift. In an interview with Tech Radar, he noted that he was interested in returning to Star Wars. He noted, I'm open to all characters and scripts that are enjoyable, have a great cast attached, and I bet you he's not making Wait, what was the Ken right now? What's his filmography? What's this guy's filmography? Because of course now he's sucking up because it's like, oh, that's an established franchise. I better hop back in there again. I kind of shot my mouth because I was butthurt that I wasn't getting the attention I deserve. Guy's only 33 years old, younger than me. What a dick. Let's see. Attack the Block. No idea. Junk Hearts. Half a Yellow Sun. Imperial Dreams. Star Wars: The Force Unleashed. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. The Force Awakens. The Circle. Detroit. Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Pacific Rim. He was in Uprising. I watched Pacific Rim. I don't remember. Did I watch Uprising? I don't know. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, Naked Singularity, Breaking the Woman King. They cloned Tyrone. Hey guys, anybody out there? Do any of those movies sound familiar? Were those any movies that you were like, wow, that was amazing? Nope. Star Wars was his biggest thing. Yep. That answers my question. For me, Star Wars has made the man in a sense. The experience, the fun times, good times, ugly times, bad times. It makes you who you are as you navigate through the industry, and that has definitely been interesting. AKA, I'm gonna love. I know I said some crap about Star Wars and Disney's, but if they're starting to do new stuff, I'll suck up to them so I can become relevant again and make that money. The shift in tone has not gone unnoticed among fans, particularly those who champion the idea that Finn should have been given a more prominent arc. Some have pointed out the irony of Boyega criticizing fans now, when many had spent years defending both the character and the actor's original criticism of Lucasfilms. Controversy also highlights a recurring pattern with Lucasfilms and its handling of fan responses. During and after the release of The Last Jedi, several actors and creative associates with the franchise suggested that audience backlash was due to fan expectations rather than creative decisions. Except the creative decisions that these people think they did weren't creative decisions. They were pandering. They were exactly what he said. They're pandering to a crowd. I'll give him credit with that. The only thing I agree with is, yeah, dude, you got used. How did you, what did you expect? Okay, got something here that this guy pointed out. His comments come at a time when the Star Wars brand is at the weakest it has ever been across streaming and theatrical platforms. With new projects in development, the long-term legacy of the sequel trilogy and its characters remain a point of debate. There you go. Yeah, I mean, I really didn't have a problem with him in the first one, but again, I don't really consider the what do you call these? The sequels to the sequels or something. It all sucks. All right, well there you go. So I think it's hilarious, just the fact that he attacked Disney and Star Wars, and then he's gone back to attack. It's like, okay, yeah, go ahead and do that. Just attack everybody. I'm sure that'll win you over like some major people, because I'm sure people would want to work with someone who will just just go haywire when. Smart move, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out. So, Video Game Chronicle here. Metal Gear Solid Delta, that would be the remake of Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater, or Subsistence, which is like the copy of the game and a bunch of additional stuff, which is what I have. And Metal Gear Solid 3 being probably one of my favorite games of all time. The ESRB rating suggests its controversial sexual content is still intact. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. The game's deep demo theater and other scenes are mentioned in the remake's ratings. So the U.S. rating board has decided that the remake will be rated M for mature due to blood, sexual themes, and violence. A description, and really, You didn't even. I'm one where this doesn't even need to be needed to begin in the first place. Like, you want to know what game you're getting into, you read the back. You know, kind of like a trailer of the movie. You watch the trailer and go, "Yeah, I'm not interested," and you move on. I will determine that, and the parents can determine what their kids see, with the expectation that some way, shape, or form, your kid's probably going to see it in one way or another. That's usually how it works. Is one family says, "No, you can't see this," and then you go to your friend's house and their family's cool with it. A description of the rating goes into more detail, revealing that certain scenes in the Peep demo theater unlockable appear to still be in the game. Demo theater is one of the extra features in the Subsistence, that's what I have, and the HD collection version of Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, that lets players view all the game's cutscenes while controlling the camera. The hardest to unlock cutscene is titled Peep Demo Theater, which is unlocked by getting every other scene in the demo theater, requiring 4 playthroughs of the game, and it shows every scene in the game in which female spy Eva is seen in her underwear, with players able to move the camera around and zoom it to see her body closer. And if anybody remembers Metal Gear Solid 1, you can do that when you're crawling through the grates. You can Meryl, doing, exercising in her jail cell, and then you kind of go back and forth. I don't remember exactly what you do, but at some point you see in her underwear. Plus, I think there's that cutscene too that you see her putting it on when he knocks out that one guard. The game contains some suggestive sexual content. The ESRB ratings read: a man groping a woman's breast, close-up camera angles of deep cleavage, a character briefly groping a man's crotch. Groping a man's crotch. I forget who the main guy is, the guy who can do electricity. I say it's one of my favorite games all time, but like certain characters' names I'm completely forgetting. So I do really love the game, but it's been a while. I should do a Metal Gear Solid playthrough again of all the games. But anyway, if they're talking about the main bad guy character, that's kind of how he finds out that Snake is an agent, is that he grabs that man's crotch. Bam! That's not you. You're not the soldier I know. A Peep demo theater allowing players to view cutscenes of a female character's body form from a first perspective. None of this needs to be stated. You're literally telling what happens in the game. None of this. If this is literally a warning and they have this actually on the screen show up, like, go fist yourself. This doesn't be needed, and this is starting to happen too. I believe we read in the past an article talking about the UK is doing stupid crap like this, where it's like, warning, this has XYZ. Here's a list of all the stuff that's happened, literally spoiling stuff. Like, are you kidding me? The ESRB rating also gives some detail on the game's violence, saying combat is highlighted by realistic gunfire. Dude, not. Oh, none. Dude, my gosh. They are pandering to people who will never, ever play this game. A playthrough would be cool. Yeah, I might do that. Could be fun. I played them, like, already a bunch of times in terms of, like, from the past, but I haven't streamed them all consistently. I think the only ones I've streamed are Metal Gear Solid 5. Combat is highlighted. Oh, and some of the PSP ones. I know I remember doing that. Combat is highlighted by realistic gunfires. Who cares? That's good, because, I like to be immersed in the world. Cries of pain. Well, that does happen when you hurt yourself. And blood splatter effects. Some close quarter combat allows players to slit enemy throats, resulting in large spurts of blood. Yeah, dude. First time I played this game, I was sneaking up on people, putting that knife to that throat. Give me your information. What do you got? Okay, you're no longer helpful. Slice, and then toss them aside. Dude, I was a freak. And then, depending if people have never played the game before, And going the way I did was quite fun when you get to a certain game. I'll just say that. Cutscenes depicted. I cannot believe this. They're literally listing a bunch of stuff that could potentially reveal, like, spoil the game for people who haven't played it yet. Cutscenes depict further violence, blood, and restrained characters beaten and electrocuted, a character shot in the eye, a character This is just an off-brand Dr. K, by the way. I should have gotten some whiskey because it's already starting to make me mad. Last month, it was officially confirmed that the Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater release date will be August 28th. Last year, okay, and then now they're just plugging like, oh, we got to test it. Whoops. I just shrunk that. Did that mess up my... I messed up my capture stuff. Well, there you go. I think this is gay as hell. Again, I think the ESRB shouldn't even exist. I feel the same way with people who rate movies. It's literally a censorship group. So both of them should burn for all eternity. But I would definitely say, like, if they're starting to get to the point, like, if anything, this is all you need. If they're getting to the point where they're listing everything that happens in the game, like, you just ruined the game. What's up, GVOS? As someone who loves spoilers, I don't see a problem. GVOS, I know who you are, and I know what car you drive because I know you in real life. But you suck. Just kidding. Of course, GVOS, you wouldn't be a problem with this. Oh my gosh, love spoilers. Get out. Are you the person that reads like the end of the book? Because you're like, well, I don't want to be disappointed when I get to the end. So let me just read the back here. Oh, that's what happens. Well, I guess we'll find out why it leads up to that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so hopping on over to Niche Gamer. Metroid Prime 4 reveals new 2025 trailer. Now, I have not played any of the Metroid games, and I need to. But on March 27th, we were given a first look at the upcoming game, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, and the latest entry of Nintendo's iconic franchises. Yes, that's me. I'm going to put you in a timeout on you for 5 days for being that person. I did not, by the way. In the latest entry of Nintendo's iconic franchises, Samus will unlock new psychic abilities, which will not only help her in combat, but also unlock new puzzles. Previously announced last year, Nintendo's also confirmed that Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is still on track to release later this year. But I thought I read somewhere that it got delayed again. The development of Metroid Prime 4 has been delayed repeatedly, almost as much as Skull and Bones, with development issues occurring as far back as 2017. Oh, okay. Maybe that was an old thing. So here's the thing right here. Now, probably can't turn it up that much just because Nintendo.
This is the unknown planet Vuros. Here, Samus finds a verdant jungle with a colossal tree at its center.
Okay, you don't need to, like, explain what I'm visually seeing. Like, just get to the action. Looks solid.
She's not alone, though. Abhorrent, alien creatures living in the jungle are waiting to strike.
Not gonna lie, the narrator in this trailer could have been better. He sounds slightly uninterested.
As she
All right, so
Samus
here's
ancient powers.
got some powers here.
But why were these powers bestowed upon Samus?
Okay, interesting. Again, I need to play like the OGs. But there you go. Supposedly it's still on track. So hopefully anybody who's a Metroid fan out there is pretty excited about it. This caught my eye. Keija Inafune still wants to, or Keiji, I guess I should say, still wants to finish developing Mega Man Legends 3. Seems that Keiji Inafune is still thinking about what a finished Mega Man Legends could have been. And to this day, he still has hope that finishing the game is a possibility with the big wigs at Capcom. So, in an interview with US Gamer, he very openly and earnestly spoke about his passion behind the project and how much it meant to him. Somebody asked, even right now, what's the game you want to create the most? It's still Legends 3, he said. I put so much effort into that game, so much passion into that game, but it didn't happen. Always a regret in my mind, even now. He continued, mentioning that with Capcom as the owner of the Mega Man IP, there is no way for him to finish the game. We all know that's not going to happen, though, as long as Capcom holds the IP. If they asked me to make that game, I could still gather most of the original team, even right now. Inafune said, some of them have quit Capcom. Some of them are still at Capcom, but I believe that team would be passionate enough to come back together and create that game. So we'll see what's going to happen. You never know. Finally, Inafune shared a very optimistic, I'll bet, fantastical dream of finally making Mega Man Legends 3 real. Let's say that if we have all 7 Dragon Balls right here, hey, a Dragon Ball Z reference, right now, and Shenlong comes out and says, what's your wish? State your wish. My wish would be, give me all the right tools, people, and environment to create Legends 3. Dang. He is determined to get that game finished. So I think that's pretty cool. He still wants to. This caught my eye because I actually have Mega Man Legends that I still need to play. It's on the backlog list, and I know some people, have thoughts about Mega Man Legends, but I still would love to take a swing at it, if you will. Hopping on over to Tech for Gamers. PlayStation needs to rethink emphasis on cutting-edge graphics, says Shuei Yoshida. For the past few years, gaming world has been plagued with the serious issues of ballooning budgets for AAA titles. Games like Skull and Bones and Marvel's Superman, oh gosh, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 have acquired development budgets similar to those on Hollywood blockbuster. According to developers, cutting-edge graphics are a big reason for this highly unsustainable crisis. I would like to say that I think it's actually unnecessary mocap to just make the actor and just put him in the game, and that you could actually save a lot of money by just not making, walking simulators that rely a bunch on mocap. Like, go back to the good old days back in the day when, scenes were animated, pre-rendered cutscenes where, yeah, we know that the anatomy of characters looks a little off, but that's part of the charm. That's how you could save a lot of money. Big reason for this highly unsustainable practice, as they significantly increase the development time of AAA titles. Now, Shuei Yoshida has criticized the company's approach to graphics, saying there are other things to focus on. Oh, you mean like a good story? The thing that should just probably be in a lot of video games to begin with? I'd say combo that with gameplay. Good story or gameplay. You don't really need a good story to have a good game. There's plenty of them out there where you might have a little basics here and there, but other than that, you just go out and do it. But those were, I would say, I think they're kind of 2 and 2 together. Because I know for me, reason I'm playing the game is that something about the story has captured me enough to where I want to see what the game is trying to tell me. why it matters. An ex-Sony boss echoing what many others think about gaming graphics or game graphical quality is a good sign. In a new interview, the Sony ex-president said that the company must reconsider its emphasis on cutting-edge graphics to stay relevant. Yoshida admitted that it has been a part of PlayStation DNA for some time now, and the user also expects such graphics from their game. However, if PlayStation wants to continue being popular with the broader player base, it needs to change its approach and reconsider its focus on cutting-edge graphics. Yoshida did state that providing the best graphical qualities to the players who want it is necessary, but it isn't how one stays relevant in the industry. Well, look at all these indie games popping up that are going back to your 2D side scrollers, like your sprites and stuff. Those games are kicking. Like the new Terminator 2 2D Judgment Day game that's coming out. Like games like that, I love that. Those beat 'em ups, I'm looking forward to that game. That game looks awesome. So basically, the ex-president of Sony is amplifying the opinion of a large majority of gamers who want studios to focus more on storytelling. Many developers also think such graphical quality isn't feasible consistently and will lead to extended development time. Despite this, however, studios like Capcom are still chasing an edge in graphical quality. CD Projekt Red is another developer looking for photorealistic graphics for the Cyberpunk 2077 sequel. Considering how many think graphics have plateaued, it will be interested to see what edge these games have. Yeah, see, this is the thing. I don't even think there should be a category of best graphics if that still exists in the game or awards show anymore. Because at this point, it's been built up to that for that to just be expected, And it's gone to the point where now, again, as a lot of people have stated, making fun of it, it's a glorified walking simulator. And cutscenes are getting long now to where it's more of a movie than a video game. Considering how many think graphics have plateaued, it'll be interesting to see what edge these games have. Do you think there is still a graphical edge to attain in video games? Tell us in the whatever. No, I don't. I mean, at this point, if you want to go beyond that, you might as well start getting into virtual reality and all that insanity, simulation and stuff like that. Like, I can understand, like, I'm still rocking 1080p, I have yet to cross over into 4K realm, and now there's like 5K. It's like, why? I do not care about that stuff. Whoop-de-doo. The only thing I would care about is maybe videos, movies from the past that I grew up watching are like in better high quality. That's one thing, but like it doesn't need to be, to me, it needs to be 4K or anything like that. I think it's insanity. There you go. All right, so let's get into some Nintendo Switch news. So Switch's 2 secret C button gets its biggest tease yet in Nintendo's new video. Previously left blank during the Switch 2 announcements. Here it is right there. So in Switch 2's January reveal video, Nintendo confirmed the presence of an extra button on the right Joy-Con, but the button had all markings from various leaks, including some from the Nintendo's own app, describes the button as C, but now Nintendo has directly emphasized its presence in a video published on the Japanese Nintendo Today app, where it's now Direct Day. Currently unknown what the C button does, but it's been speculated that it could be a major unannounced feature for Switch 2, with guesses ranging from chat, allowing for voice communication, to community, leading to some sort of social hub feature. Nintendo is set to broadcast an hour-long Nintendo Direct presentation on Wednesday. That would be at the time of this stream tomorrow, dedicated entirely to Switch 2. Nintendo is expected to not only reveal Switch 2 software and give a price and release date at this event, but also shed more light on some of the secrets surrounding the hardware. There you go. right there. This includes the apparent presence of mouse controls on Switch 2's Joy-Con. Likely then that Nintendo was planning to properly introduce the C button during this Nintendo Direct and reveal what it actually does. So it's going to be held April 2nd, 6 a.m. PT, 9 a.m. ET, 2B BST, and 3 p.m. BEST, Central Eastern Standard Time. I don't know. And then the first Nintendo Treehouse Live Nintendo Direct 2 stream will then kick off at 7 a.m., 10 a.m., 3 p.m. April 3rd, or on April 3rd, with a second taking place at the same time on April 4th. Nintendo has yet to confirm how long the streams last each day. Well, unfortunately, I will probably be working, so I will probably have to snag a replay of it. So there you go. So this button has been announced, but in terms of what it does, we don't know. It just has a big old C on it. Going back to Tech for Gamers, they made an article here saying Nintendo struggled to get third-party support for the Switch following the Wii U's failure. So while the Nintendo Switch is battling the PlayStation 2 to become the best-selling console, the gaming giant's success didn't come quick. Former Nintendo marketing leads discussed the Japanese company's struggle before the Switch's release. According to them, the company really struggled to get third-party support for the Switch console following the Wii U failure. Oh yeah, and I think this is why they are being very, very careful with Switch 2, is because they do not want another Wii U. Even though, as many people said, it would have been amazing for the Switch 2 to be called the Super Switch. But, you know, is what it is. The Nintendo Switch success would not have been the same without third-party support. For these people, Kit and Krista, former Nintendo marketing leads, discussed the difficulties, Nintendo faced while transitioning from the Wii U's release to the Switch. Quote, they were coming off of a console that was quite frankly not successful and a failure, and getting third-party support on the Nintendo platform at the time was really hard. Moreover, they also discussed how Nintendo's fortunes have changed, and this time, their platform has become an exciting prospect for third-party developers. I liked the Wii U. I mean, from what I understood, because I do think the Wii U was good, but a lot of the stuff in the Wii U should have just been implemented with the Wii. Now, was the technology there at the time? That's where I don't really know. I'd have to look down the rabbit hole in terms of that. But the people I either watch or have chatted with, my friends or whatnot, I heard mostly from them that pretty much they would categorize it the Wii U, and maybe I'm wrong, or maybe I'm getting what they told me wrong, is that the Wii U was just a glorified Switch, or Wii. So it's a matter of, well, why didn't they just hold off and just make the Wii U just be the Wii to begin with? Because the Wii U had HDMI, which was awesome, but I don't think HDMI was a thing still back then. And then, you use the Pro controller. I don't know. But I think marketing definitely had a big problem too. So that was kind of the big thing while Wii U drizzled off. Quote, they're in a much more different place where many of these third-party developers are claiming to be part of the Nintendo platform. With recent advancements in handheld consoles like the Steam Deck and Asus ROG Ally are now capable of running big AAA releases. The Nintendo Switch 2 will also experience this similar hardware transformation and is expected to receive a huge third-party support from AAA developers. Only right that they do so, since the handheld market has become quite competitive. Xbox will soon release its first handheld console in collaboration with Asus. Moreover, the Switch's success has raised the public's expectation for the next console release. Well, I don't think Nintendo is going to be losing the handheld console, honestly, anytime soon, because they've been focusing on that forever. And to me, hey, Brian, I loved my Wii U. Nice. To me, I hate to say it, but to me, like the shitty part is every company now has some sort of problem. Uh, Microsoft just being Microsoft, Sony, being Sony, and Nintendo being Nintendo. A lot, all of them having some sort of censorship. Sony with I can't even think of anything. I can't think of the talking points at the moment. Apparently, my brain is fried. But out of them, it seems like Nintendo's kind of pushing that lead farther and being, I guess, the winning console out of all of this, you could say. I grew up with my PlayStation 2 in terms of like the console I remember playing the most was the PlayStation 2. My first console was a Nintendo. Then I had Sega Genesis, Nintendo 64, PlayStation 2, and then from there, either getting the old consoles from the past back in the day before they're all like retardedly expensive now, and then your Xbox 360, Xbox One, that stuff. But now I'm going into the camp of like like a PC sort of hybrid and stuff. And really, that's what a lot of these handheld consoles are starting to become anyway. So it's almost to the point of, well, if I'm spending like that much money, why not just build a sweet gaming rig, you know? And for me, it seems like with PC, that's where you can get the most purest form of a game because there'll be mods out there that can, uncensor stuff, correctly translate stuff, get rid of all the woke shit that's being fisted in there. So I don't know, but I tend to think that Nintendo's probably gonna be the one that kind of comes out on top in the end. And I say that hesitantly just because I'm still not happy with Nintendo taking down like MU Paradise. There's them going after like all piracy and all that shit. And now with their virtual what is it, the virtual cartridge, like I saw that and I was immediately like, okay, how is this just like not a ROM? The difference is that it just has Nintendo stamp of approval, you know? And there's going to be and obviously there's going to be an issue if they would just listen and be like, hey, we would like these old games released. It's like, well, sorry, no. It's like, okay, well then I'm going to download the ROM. Well, you can't do that. That's our property. Well, we're asking you to do this. No. Okay, so you just don't want money apparently, you know? And then when they do port stuff, a lot of the ports are inferior to, like to a ROM version, which is hilarious. You can find that. You can find the comparisons of, the eShop version of Super Mario Brothers 3 or something to like a ROM version. And it's like it's like some of the color palettes off and stuff. It's like, dude, how hard it to and what is it? Didn't I read somewhere that at the video game museum, like they allow you to play certain games, they were emulating them. So it's like, okay, what's the point? What's the problem here? There's my little ramble. Anyway, so now we're switching back to Video Game Chronicle. Again, talking about the Switch 2. Pro Controller will seemingly add a much requested feature. Dear Lord, it feels like I can't talk today. To the point where I should have just had some alcohol next to me, because then I could just blame the alcohol instead of my poor grammar. So apparently the next Pro Controller will include an upgrade fans have been calling for. A filing with the FCC has suggested that the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller will add a headphone jack. There it is. While a standard feature on virtually every controller release in the last decade, Nintendo's own controller have missed the feature. The filing suggests that the controller will once again feature RFID and Bluetooth support. The filing was made on March 31st and described as a, quote, game controller. That would be pretty cool. Because there are times when I'm playing, like, maybe the Nintendo version of a game or something, like the PC version, I would want to use the Pro Controller. And you have to use a program to turn on the Bluetooth, at least from what I've run into, that I got it to work. So they actually have a solid Bluetooth in there that you can just connect to your computer. That'd be pretty tight. But really, I've seems to struggle with Bluetooth at times is so annoying. It's just go wired because you guarantee it's plug and play. Easy, done. Likely that the new controller will also feature the mysterious C button, which has been regularly featured in Nintendo's daily tease this week. First shown off during the Switch's 2 January reveal video, Nintendo confirmed the presence of an extra button on the right joke. Okay, we kind of already read this a little bit. Began posting images on the console with the C button, and then it talks about the Nintendo Direct and the Treehouse Live thing. Okay. All right, so we kind of already read this. All right. Yep, some of the articles that I find are rather short. Again, I don't pre-screen any of these. Like what you're seeing is my first time legit reaction and my comments on it, which some I'm sure have deemed the ramblings of a madman, but that is all right. Aren't we all a little crazy? Okay, so I think we are. Well, we had one more. Announced the runtime of the. Oh, I guess this article says Nintendo has announced the runtime of the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. Okay, what are we talking about? 60 minutes. Here you go. It'll be live in 11 hours. So for me, 8 a.m. is when it will go live. And I have a sneaking suspicion the rest of this article will talk about the C button. Yep. Okay. You literally, oh my gosh. Literally repadding to the article. Just padding the stuff that we've already read in like the couple past articles here. Okay. So now we're on the big one that's kind of I've been stewing about a little bit. Side Scrollers talked about this. I was listening to kind of in the past. And I have watched some of Karl's videos leading up to this. And former Donkey Kong champion Billy Mitchell wins $220,000 defamation case against Karl Jobst. Jobst. Jobst had alleged that Mitchell had cheated and had contributed to the death of another YouTuber. Now, Video Game Chronicle, be very careful, because there's literally footage out there of the judge specifically stating that this was not about Mitchell supposedly cheating. It was about him contributing to the not to the supposed death. He actually did badly Minecraft himself of another YouTuber. This is where kind of what my title says, were we misled? I have watched the videos of him covering the case of Billy Mitchell and Twin Galaxies, his case, or his critiques of Billy Mitchell and stuff, and a lot of people are feeling that they were misled by Karl, because a lot of people thought that this whole case was about the fact of Karl repeatedly saying that Billy cheated. That's not what this case was about. It was about Karl making claims that Billy somehow contributed to the death of another YouTuber. The former Donkey Kong high score champion Billy Mitchell, I believe it says former Donkey Kong portrait. I'll say this right now. I personally believe, and even though I did watch Karl's stuff and whatnot, I do believe that Billy did cheat. That's my opinion. I also think Billy is a douchebag. So I'm kind of biased against him. However, I'm also very disappointed in Karl for not being straightforward about what he was talking about for his case. And the biggest issue is that he made a GoFundMe or what have you to support the case. And a lot of people, again, thought that was for a case of him claiming that Billy cheated, when this whole case was not. So he has successfully sued Australian YouTuber Karl Jobst in response to a number of allegations Jobst made about him. Well, there's the problem right there, too, is that sadly this took place in Australia. In a number of YouTube videos, Jobst alleged that Mitchell had cheated to achieve his previous world record high score Donkey Kong, a claim that Mitchell has been battling for some time. Jobst has also made strong allegations about Mitchell, including a claim that Mitchell's 2020 lawsuit against YouTuber Ben Smith, also known as Apollo Legend, was a, quote, a significant factor in Smith taking his own life. Mitchell responded by suing Jobst for defamation and now has been found successful after the Brisbane District Court found in his favor, as reported by The Guardian, with Judge Ken Barlow finding 5 separate defamatory imputations made by Jobst. Jobst has been ordered to pay $350,000 AU, which is $220,000, plus interest and costs to Mitchell, $300,000 in damages, and additional $50,000 in aggravated damages followed Jobst's decision to publish the video a second time, mocking Mitchell's complaint. Jobst posted a statement on X in which he had addressed the judge's findings and apologized to his followers, some of whom had crowdfunded his legal costs. Yep, that's where the big issue. I lost, he wrote. The judge found Billy to be a credible witness and believed his entire testimony. From that point on, unfortunately, there was really nothing that could have saved me. I will now obviously consider my options. I know many of you will be upset with this, and I am sorry for that. Thank you again for all the support I have received, and I will endeavor to work as hard as I can to repay all that you are owed. So in a series of short posts on X, Mitchell pointed nothing like the smell of victory in the evening air. Billy Mitchell always has a plan, and thank you to everyone who supported me. I am grateful. Mitchell found fame in the 1980s and 1990s by claiming high scores on such games as Donkey Kong and Pac-Man. He got another spell in the spotlight when he was portrayed as the antagonist in documentary The King of Kong, A Fistful of Quarters, in which newcomer Stevie Weebay tries to beat a score. The Donkey Kong high score leaderboard has moved on since the days of Weebay versus Mitchell, with modern tables dominated by John McCurdy and current champion Robbie Lakeman. So that's kind of what Video Game Chronicles wrote about here. Like I said, Side Scrollers did a good job talking about this today, so I would recommend go checking their stuff as well. But you can find a bunch of stuff on Twitter here, kind of expressing their frustration about things. You know, someone who is actually a professional streamer, I guess, would have had all this pulled up to begin with, unlike me. So here I am off on this. Oh, here we go. That out. Let's drag this here. So as you can see, like X has just been exploding. I think you guys can. So if we scroll down, here's kind of the biggest thing. Karl Jobst lost because he called Billy a murderer with no evidence. The cheating was background context, and then tried to mislead everyone about what the case was about. You fucked up, Karl, big time. So here's the judge.
A fraudulent video. Use a fraudulent video. To be clear, I was not required to decide, nor did I decide, whether Mr. Mitchell had in fact cheated in gaining any of his world record scores. Mr. Jobst did not attempt to prove that that finding by Twin Galaxies was correct. Notwithstanding these findings, I have concluded that the defamatory imputations made by Mr. Jobst that are the subject of Mr. Mitchell's claim have caused substantial additional damage to Mr. Mitchell's reputation and have caused him considerable additional distress. Therefore, Mr. Jobst is liable to pay damages to Mr. Mitchell for those defamatory imputations. I shall come shortly to the amount of those damages. Mr. Mitchell also asserted that Mr. Jobst's conduct in publishing the video and after use of...
There you go. Right there, the judge specifically stated this isn't about the context of him calling him a cheater. It's about him defaming Billy by saying he was a significant factor of the taking of Apollo taking his own life. Now, I would have said, Your Honor, but what if said, how can one's reputation be damaged when he's a pompous douchebag to begin with? That's what I would have said. But yeah, the biggest thing that a lot of people are upset with is the fact that it felt very misleading. And I would have to say, out of kind of taking in a lot of what has happened, I do feel that there was a bit of misleading because I did watch a lot of his videos that talk about it. Now, I liked Karl's videos for him talking about the speedrunning community, talking about the exposed cheaters out there and stuff, which, that's the biggest irony of this whole thing too, is because, okay, or well, then are you the biggest cheater of all because you cheated money out of, I'm saying that hyperbole, is that even the right term? But you know what I mean. It's ironic. But you can just read this right here. That Karl Jobst situation just makes me sad, to be honest. Imagine misleading your entire fan base about what a lawsuit is just to lose it and have your credibility stripped away in one night. Fucking incredible. Lonely Gooma really brought a lot of this stuff out in terms of the feeling of being misled. I thought Karl Jobst was getting sued for accusing Billy Mitchell of cheating. That was absolutely the angle he went with in his videos. And I would have to say, I do agree. I did watch a lot of his videos. I may have heard Apollo be mentioned here and there, but for most of it, I do agree with Lonely Goomba. I thought it was about him cheating because that's what he talked about all the time. Now I'm finding out it's because he accused Billy of being responsible for the suicide of Apollo Legend. If that's true, I feel very misled. And we're going to give that a heart because I agree. I did watch those videos. Now, granted, it's been a while and it wasn't like in a row or anything, but I do feel sort of misled about everything. Got your Dexerto, I guess is how you pronounce it. Right here. Karl Jobst probably took the largest L on YouTube in a while and is owning it. He's not being too straightforward about the situation, though. This is such an awful display. Obfuscating the situation, misleading the audience, all that bravado in his video, too. Stuttering Craig, the Billy Mitchell, Karl Jobst story is wild. Don't shoot the messenger, but Karl Jobst was sued in mid-2021 for the Apollo Legend comment. The first video linked in his retraction. GoFundMe was created in response to a second lawsuit threat Billy had sent 2 years later that ultimately never materialized because it was dumb. Okay. See, and this is where the insanity begins, because now it's like, okay, so what did he use the money for? Did he use the money, the lawsuit, was the lawsuit for this supposed second lawsuit that Billy threatened, but it never materialized? Trying to find. Dang it. I should have been a professional and actually kept what I was reading open so I could share it with you guys. Let's see. Again, if you watched any of Karl's videos on the lawsuit, it would have you 100% believe that the case was primarily centered around statements regarding cheating accusations. See, a lot of people are saying it felt like you were talking about the cheating accusation, not about the other one here. Hey, it's me. Talk about real-time insanity. Dang it. Someone pointed out if I can talk. Yeah, someone pointed out one of Karl's defenses that he submitted was a Reddit stuff. For this reason below, I made the following finding. So reading, calling him fraud and scammer. Billy Mitchell has private his video responding to Karl Jobst. I just watched this on stream earlier. It's a shame because it's the single best resource to understand what this lawsuit was even about. Interesting. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you guys are up to date on this. I mean, if we would have to show, like, you would obviously have to be familiar with the videos that he made. And for all we know, those could be purging right now. So there was like, oh, was this it? Update. This Karl Jobst versus Billy Mitchell lawsuit hits a lot different than it did 6 months ago. Thoughts? Feels like Buddy misrepresented the whole situation. Here it is. Imagine threatening to someone because they accuse you of cheating. Get $5 off of your next order. Okay, sponsor, whatnot. Yeah, he pinned something like that. Does that mention anything about Apollo's suicide? No, it doesn't. And you've got this over here. Found Jobst to have made 5 defamatory imputations about Mitchell, including that Mitchell had required Apollo Legend pay him a large sum of money, and thus implying he, in essence, hounded Apollo Legend to death. Barlow found this was based on a fallacy and that Jobst, in not making further inquiries before publishing the video, had been recklessly indifferent if that was true. Judge stated that Jobst's 2021 video also linked to the December 2020 suicide of another YouTuber, Apollo Legend, to stress. Oh, you stupid arrow. Stress arising from his settlement with Mitchell, and wrongly asserted that Apollo Legend had to pay Mitchell a large sum of money. And everyone is saying that Billy Mitchell keeps winning because he sued Cartoon Network, and I think he won. He sued Twin Galaxies, and supposedly he won. In his mind, he thinks he's won, but I honestly, like, they have a archive version to where his scores are in there, not the current one. So I think, to me, that was a wash. Like, it's annoying, but it's a wash. And then you have that. But that was actually the one I wanted to point out. Is that, yeah, did that pin comment for it make it sound like that he's talking about he's being sued because he declared Billy Mitchell was cheating? Yep. Well, there you go. A sad day, I guess you could say, in the video game community, because this was kind of, this is big talk. I mean, I enjoyed Karl's content, but now a lot of people are going to now be questioning going forward, like, his words now and stuff. And like I said, as Billy Mitchell, I mean, just the little stuff I seen him, he sounds like a huge tool and a douchebag. But that is it. What's this? I had another tab. Oh, that was just the schedule for this. Well, as we wind down here, folks, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and make sure to punch the thumbs up and ring the notification bell to get notified when I go live, whether that's doing this show solo, the Power Up podcast, or with a guest, and then my game stream. And then you can find my schedule in the descriptions below. We were on YouTube, Rumble, and X, by the way. But let's end this on an uplifting note. Let's take a gander at what games were released this day and throughout, past years. So let's take a gander. And we'll probably do tomorrow too, since I usually game tomorrow. Okay. So we got Cool Spot, Hopful Mail. Don't know what that is. Monster World 4. D. Ooh, Mortal Kombat 3. There you go. That's a solid one. Lady Stalker, Kako, Kara, no, Chosen, Super Nintendo. I still don't get what the bold letters for Game Facts stands for. I still don't get what that means. Like, were these really big games? Mortal Kombat 3 I can understand, but not these ones because they're from Japan. Anyway, what else? Oh, you got your Goat Simulator. There you go. MLB The Show 22. Oh, here you go. If you guys need a hentai shop simulator, that was released apparently this year. All right, some on there. Not a solid list, I would say, but let's check out tomorrow. Ooh, here you go. Kabam. Final Fantasy. What is that? 6? Right there, which would be technically 3. Released tomorrow. 31 years ago in Japan. Dang. Oops, did not mean to click on the City of Lost Children. PC game, but if you happen to know that one, there you go. Oh, Metal Slug 2. I love the Metal Slug series. Good series. I almost thought that said Majora's Mask, but it's Major Minor. Oh, the iOS version of the Oregon Trail. Not a solid list in my opinion. For both days. That kind of sucks. Metal Slug 2, though, that's a good one. And of course your Final Fantasy 6, which would be Final Fantasy 3, I believe, if I'm getting that right. Yeah, because the V is a 5, right? My Roman, I need to learn Roman numerals. I need to embed it in my brain. 1, 2, 3, obviously, and then IV is 4, V is 5, and then VI is 6, 2I is 7, blah blah blah. And X is 10, right? There, I think I did better that time around. But Moby Games also does something like this, so they have a bigger list. Let's see what else is there. Oh, Apple. There you go. 49 years ago, 1976. Company founded as Apple Computer. Dang. That's wow. Ooh, id Software moved from Madison, Wisconsin to Mesquite, Dallas, Texas. I'm in Texas. No, look at this. Dragon Ball Z La Apule du Destin. That's the Japanese version of Dragon Ball Z Fighter, like a fighting game. No, you can get a translated version of it, but like it's still in French. Oh, that's crazy. That was released today. Nice. Actually not a bad Genesis game. Like you have to learn. It's kind of based on your Super Butoden games. If you ever played those, they're pretty solid. Super Butoden 2 is probably the best one. 3 was okay, but it has no story mode, so it's just fighting. Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, the United Kingdom's version. What about Sega? I'm not really seeing anything that stands out in my mind. The iPad version of Mirror's Edge apparently was released. I liked Mirror's Edge. I never played the remake, but I heard it wasn't that good. Might be something to play, though. The Arkham Origins Black Gate Deluxe Edition, PlayStation 3 version, United States and Canada. This Sony Computer Entertainment Incorporated is renamed to Sony Interactive Entertainment following the reorganization of Sony Computer. That was back in 2016. There you go. There's something right there. Unfortunately, 2016 is when games started to become crap. I mean, they might have been slowly eking up that way, but 2016, you know, when the big scary orange man became president, it just felt like everything went downhill. Everybody went absolutely insane. Their masks all came off. Yeah, now I'm not really seeing anything. All right. And we'll finish up here with tomorrow, see if anything stands out with tomorrow. I love you. Tomorrow, you're only a day away. Final Fantasy 3 for Japan, like I said. Fantasy Star Collection in the Sega Saturn version for Japan is released tomorrow. That's cool. Dragon Force 2 for Sega Saturn version. Oh gosh, the Scorpion King Sword of Osiris, the Game Boy Advance version. Oh man. They had a man, part of me wished that the Mummy had some good games. They had a Mummy 2 game for PlayStation 2, but it just sucks. I wish it was kind of more like the Lord of the Rings. Like the Lord of the Rings games. Like the Two Towers. I remember playing that game all the time for PlayStation 2. Like those were pretty solid games. Well, 2 and Return of the King. I don't know if they ever made Fellowship of the Ring. I know there's other Fellowship of the Ring games out there. I don't know how good they are. Star Ocean Second Evolution, the PSP. And Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops Coded Arms was released for Australia, the PSP version. Also one with Silent Hill 2 Origins. There you go. Uncharted 3 Drakes. Oh, just some odd thing. Rocksmith, the Allman Brothers Band 3-pack song. Yeah, now we're getting into garbage. I think that is all we have. Yep. We have made it. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thanks again for your support. Again, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, or feel free to follow me over on X. You can find my other social medias either in the description or in the link tree in my bio. Thanks for your support. I appreciate it. And of course, if you want to go beyond that, you can always check out membership subscription tiers over on YouTube or Rumble. And as we'll probably be doing, we need to do some more Rumble premium stuff for the creator monetization program that's over there. So I'll be setting stuff up over there. So you can always check that out as well. Brian says, have a good night. Yeah, thanks. You too, brother. Everybody, you guys have a good rest of your night. Take care. God bless. Thanks for the support. And I will catch you guys on the flip side. So, till then, tomorrow we should be gaming 8 p.m. Central Time. Keep an eye out. But yes, you guys have a good rest of your night. Take care. And if we do any redirects here, you'll be taken to there. I will catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.
I am 30 or 40 years old and I do not need this.